Ag Matters is underwritten by Ag West Farm Credit. Ag West Farm Credit is a financial cooperative that provides financing, crop insurance, and related services to farmers and ranchers across the West. From small family businesses to large operations, Ag West brings the experience and financial know-how to help you grow your best future.
Welcome to Ag Matters, covering positive agriculture stories from across Alaska on Big Cabbage Radio.
Mike Chmielewski here at Big Cabbage Radio in Palmer, Alaska. It's my great pleasure to welcome for Ag Matters none other than Michelle Church from Moonstone Farm. Welcome, Michelle.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So today, when we're recording this, there's a wee bit of rain coming down. How does your garden grow, Michelle?
Well, we have spent the last week marathon planting because up until a week ago Sunday, the soil was too cold to do anything in. We pretty much got everything in. We're actually grateful for this rain. So, yeah, it's all going okay.
All right. And I know where your farm is, but maybe not every listener yet does know that. So describe where it is and what it is.
All right. Well, we are a small family market farm, and we are located, the address is 2141 South Church Street in Palmer, and we're between Higher Road and Trunk Road off of the South Frontage Road, which is Fireweed. Google Maps, unfortunately, sends a lot of people to the back side of our property, so we tell people to put in their GPS the Palmer North KOA campground, and that'll take you right to us. We're just at the end of the road, right past the campground.
Okay. Now, you have some specialty operations out there in addition to growing things. As I remember, there's a renovated railroad car. What does that do?
Yeah, so we have actually a couple of them. They're 1943 Alaska Railroad boxcars. One of them is a tasting room that we offer Alaska products, beers, wines, spirits, kombucha, root beers, and wines from all around the state of Alaska. And the tasting room is open on Thursdays and Saturdays from 2 to 8. And the other rail car that we have is a bed and breakfast.
Oh, interesting.
That, is also available. It's parked right in front of our peony field. So once the flowers grow, everything's behind schedule this year, but hopefully in a few weeks, it'll be full of peony flowers.
Beautiful. Okay, well, let's talk about this. This is a situation that we often talk to people about this year as compared to other years. You've already used the phrase behind schedule. What does that really mean?
Well, it's in farming in Alaska, I don't know that there is a schedule, frankly. Every year seems to present its own challenges. For the last probably 10 years, we've been able to start planting about the middle of May. But the last couple of years, the spring has been pretty erratic and cool. So it's more like the end of May we start planting. This year it was the first part of June. And, with the winter last year was very, very cold and very, very windy. So that presented, a few additional problems. Our hay field got just crushed by the wind blowing so much it blew all the snow cover off. And then with a month we had of 35 below or something ridiculous. A lot of the hay on the crest of our field has died, so we have grown more seed out there. So we are very grateful for this rain.
Okay.
Every year is different. So there you go.
Okay. Now let's go back to you have been planting things. You mentioned peonies and obviously flowers, but let's go through all the veggies that you do. You have a complete memorized list of them?
Well, kind of, sort of, I guess. I just finished planting them. I should remember, but it is sort of a blur. We do sort of a full array of market vegetables. So, with starting with the greens, salads, lettuces, and spinach. We've got some Asian greens, collards, that sort of thing. We do broccoli and cauliflower, Romanesco, peas that we also pickle, which are super good. And of course, all the squash, the zucchinis, we've got yellow and green zucchini, a couple different kinds of winter squash, the curry squash and the kabocha squash, which are similar to pumpkins, but a little drier. And we also have pumpkins and Brussels sprouts. Let's see, a lot of herbs, garlic, cucumbers, kind of going through the greenhouses, onions. So yeah, it's kind of a full array of everything that you would find at a farmer's market.
Marvelous. Nice that you remembered that. Of course it was. How many people,
Yeah.
how many people does it take to plant all of that?
Well, we had 5 total. Sometimes there were only 3 working at a time, but so my husband David and I and our son John, who also runs the tasting room and the B&B, his partner Pamela has joined our crew, and I recruited one of my nieces who came out and helped quite a bit in getting all the transplants and everything that we had in. We start probably about half of our stuff indoors under lights,
Okay.
and then transplant them out, and then everything else we direct seed.
Okay. Now, as the season goes along, there's the first crop of things that are available, and then I won't try to get everything in between, but what's the first and what's the last crop that you find that you're able to provide to people?
Well, the first ones are the greens, the salads, things that grow faster, and then the peas come on. Probably the very last things that we have are the squash, the pumpkins, and the winter squash, things that take, until the end of the season, which is August and September, to get fully ripe. And then potatoes, of course, they come on usually by the end of July, and we have potatoes all through the winter.
Okay. Now, of all of those things that you plant, what's your favorite vegetable?
Probably the snap peas. They are the most delicious and probably the most sought after that we have. But I mean, we enjoy everything. I'm actually really looking forward to not having to go to the produce section in the grocery stores,
Right.
And, to get, our salads and things like that. So, but peas are probably the favorite of people that come here. Beets, I guess I didn't mention beets, are also a favorite. And then our onions as well are probably the things that people come here looking for.
Okay. Let's look back and think about, and share it with listeners. What was the first year that the farm became a farm which was selling things? How long ago was that?
Oh, let's see. Probably about 25 years ago,
Ooh.
maybe. We started just doing CSAs and selling to actually going to some of the local markets.
Right.
And we sold to the university. When COVID happened, that sort of changed how we did everything. We started doing just a farm stand here on our property, and that actually has worked out really well.
Right.
It's easier. We harvest some things ahead of time, but a lot of the greens and things like that, as people come in and they ask for something, we go in and we get it for them right there. So it's super fresh, and we don't have as much waste from, if we don't sell everything, we don't have to come home and just throw it in our compost.
Right. Okay. Now, I seem to remember you also had livestock of some sort. Turkeys. Do I remember turkeys running around?
Yeah, we haven't done any meat birds. We did pigs a couple of times. Right now, we just have egg chickens.
Okay.
We've just been really busy with all these other renovations that we've been doing, so we haven't done any livestock. We do make our own compost, and we have people that have horses and goats and sheep that bring the manure over, and that's what we use in our compost. But
Okay.
yeah, that's it for animals at this point.
Now, just remind listeners, how many acres are you involving in this process?
So we have 30 acres of the original 40, this is a colony farm.
Okay.
And the 2 gardens are each about an acre apiece. And then we have about 12 acres of hay. And then the rest is all wooded.
Okay. Now, as you're looking ahead, I'm thinking that over the 25 years, you obviously renovated, you added railroad cars, you did one thing or another. But looking ahead, I won't say the next 25 years, but over the next couple of years, what do you see you doing that would change the kind of produce that's available? Anything?
Well, I'm not really sure as far as the produce goes. About 5 years ago, we had the conversation with our son and our daughter, so do you guys want to do this, or, what should we do? And our son was all in on it. So that sort of is what got us really going with creating other revenue sources with the tasting room and the B&B. We do tours. Premier Alaska brings buses in here. We have a couple buses coming today, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
The idea was that, they would be able to afford to keep doing this after we're no longer here or we're willing to do this anymore, so that they would have other options to be able to, maintain the property and create, enough revenue that they would be able to continue to do this.
Okay, and that tasting room is kind of a unique thing. It's a beautiful view. I've been out there, but I'm guessing that is a prime attraction.
Yeah, we open the tasting room mid-May, so our liquor license is a seasonal license.
Okay.
And so mid-May through mid-October, we have hosted small weddings. We have the upcoming Boozy Book Fair, which will be on Saturday, June 20th, and that's with Fireside Books.
Right.
And they come out, they bring some authors out, some other vendors. We have Braided River this year is going to come and play for us for a couple of hours. So that's kind of a big event. We've done farm to table dinners and things like that, utilizing the tasting room. Okay.
Sounds wonderful. So what encouragement or discouragement or advice would you give to people who are saying, oh, that sounds really nice. Maybe we could do it. We have some property. We've grown some things. What would you tell them if they wanted to be somewhat successful?
Boy, I mean, it's a lot of work. You have to look at it not so much as a job, which it totally is, but it's a lifestyle. When you have a farm of really any size, but this is a pretty small operation actually, but you can grow quite a bit of produce here. You always there's a million things that there is to do every day, but you get to decide what you're going to do that day. And quite often what you get up in the morning and say, okay, we're going to do this, that does not happen because something else comes up or you discover something that needs to be done instead. So you have to be very flexible and you just have to really enjoy doing it.
Okay.
Because it really is a lot of work.
We understand that a wee bit because we have a garden, and even though it's a small one in our backyard, the kind of all kinds of work that was required to make it successful is something we have enjoyed in its own way. So I'm thinking back over those 25 years. You mentioned that this year we had a little bit, the rains come a little bit late and had a lot of wind. What was the worst year ever of all those 25 years?
Worst year ever. Oh, it's sort of like just living in Alaska. Every winter, you're like, I am not doing this anymore. This is dumb. It is uncomfortable. And then you get a couple of nice days and then you forget all about all the bad stuff that has happened.
Okay.
So,
was there,
really,
let's go to the other end of things and say, you have a memory of a perfect year, just the right amount of rain and sun and early warming and no wind and all the rest?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's been a lot of years like that where you have an early warm spring. You don't get the terrible winds that blow your irrigation all over the place. You get 2 or 3 days of rain. 3 or 4 days of rain. I can deal with that as long as we get 3 or 4 days of nice weather. Then everything seems to grow. I mean, the rain is so good for really watering your soil the best over irrigation. So, I guess every year has its glory days and its days where you're like, what am I thinking?
Right. Mike Chmielewski here with Michelle Church from Moonstone Farm. We've been talking about her experience over roughly 25 years. As we finish up here, Michelle, what last comments would you like to add to listeners before we do finish?
Well, I really appreciate the enthusiasm that we get from people who come who really want to buy local. They appreciate the quality of the produce. They like it's sort of an activity as well to come out to the farm, get your produce, go sit out on the deck and have a beer or some cider or whatever. So, I mean, the community support has been really wonderful and quite necessary. Small farms are important, I think, especially, when world events are happening to where the large sort of monocrop farms are really struggling because of fertilizer prices and sort of the method of using same fertilizers and the same pesticides and the same herbicides over and over again really kind of destroys the soil. So the small local farms that are able to do organic practices, it's actually pretty easy. I'm not say easy, but easy to do organic in Alaska because a lot of the pests that really plague farms down in the lower 48 don't overwinter here. So it makes sense to do things organically to where you're really taking care of the soil, and then the soil really does produce tremendous vegetables and again, offers a wonderful lifestyle for you.
Okay. Well said. Well said. Michelle, we'll be out there probably to sit there and look over things, maybe the book fest, maybe to buy some produce and all the rest. But in the meantime, stay well, stay dry, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You guys have a good summer too.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Ag Matters, covering positive agriculture stories from across Alaska on Big Cabbage Radio. Ag Matters is a production of Radio Free Palmer, recorded at our studios in Palmer, Alaska. For more information about this program, email manager@radiofreepalmer.org.